Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and this week we have 11 amazing watches for you guys and girls, ranging from a moon swatch all the way to an IWC Perpetual calendar in 18 karat rose gold. I mean, that's the kind of diversity we're talking about here at Kibble Watches. Now, if you're new here, my name's James. I run Kibble Watches here, and every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. we put new watches on the website, anywhere from 8 to 12 pieces, ranging in age, price, and everything else you can possibly imagine. It's sort of a collector's paradise, as I like to see it. Now, if you are watching this on the day it goes out, which is Saturday the 7th of December, we are very quickly approaching Christmas, which is crazy. And you'll know I was out of office most of the week just gone. So this is actually being recorded the week before. That's how far in advance I'm trying to get ahead, especially with Christmas coming up. Because I had a very minor medical procedure, which I should be fully recovered by the time you're watching this, or mostly recovered, and I should be back in on the Monday the 9th it will be of December, and then back to my normal 5 days a week in the office, Monday to Friday, on the run up to Christmas, and I'll be announcing soon when the Christmas times will be and when the final shipping deadlines will be. So keep an eye out for all of that on our Instagram, on our social media, and on the top banner of our website. I'm going to make sure all of that information is there probably around the time this goes out. Now, with me recording this far in advance, it goes without saying I can't guarantee every watch on the table right now will be available when this video actually goes out, because we show the watches as coming soon on our social media and people can buy them before they actually make it to the website. So make sure you're following on those platforms to be able to see everything early. Now that all of that's out of the way, let's show what's on wrist. I did promise the last episode, which I recorded yesterday, funny enough, that I would wear my new Studio Underdog. This is the latest one, the salmon with the monopusher Solita movement. So it's quite a big price increase on the previous models, and I'm very happy with it. I went with the exclusive sterile dial, so it actually doesn't say anything on the dial, and I think it really goes with the color and scheme. I have to be honest, I really didn't like the strap that it came on. Like, strap tailor strap is fantastic. It's already on a different watch of mine, so the strap is perfect. The combination of the watch and the strap, I didn't feel like it emphasized the watch at all, and I still can't find a strap that I actually think suits the watch. But my wife put it on this mesh bracelet, and I have to say it looks, in my opinion, fantastic. So I'm now very happy with the watch. Okay, now that that is out of the way, let's crack on with what you're actually here to see, and that's the watches on the table. We're going to start with this insane IWC, which is back fresh from a IWC polish service and everything else. It cost nearly £1,700. And that has just happened, so all the paperwork and everything for that is there. But let's take a closer look at this watch. So starting this week off with a absolute hunk of 18 karat pink gold or rose gold, and it is absolutely gorgeous. What you're looking at right here is an IWC Perpetual calendar. This is specifically the reference IW503202, and what you're looking at is a fair few bits of complications. So you've got your normal hours and minutes, as you can see indicated by those gold leaf hands. At 12 o'clock you've got a perpetual moon phase for the north and south hemisphere, which is certainly something. You've got a power reserve at the 3 o'clock, as well as the pointer date, showing you which day of, what the date of the month is, sorry. Then you have your month down at 6 o'clock, your year indicated in 4 digits as opposed to just 2, and then your running seconds at 9 o'clock, as well as the day of the week. So a very, very complicated watch that shows you everything, but it's quite easy to read once you figure out what everything is. And surprisingly useful as well. So very, very cool. As I say, big 18 karat pink gold case, hallmarks visible throughout. This had the full works with IWC, and we're talking a service, new handset, I believe new crystal, and a light polish is what they did, and it cost nearly £1,700, which is a lot more than a fair few of the watches in this week's drop, which is kind of amazing. IWC signed crown at 3 o'clock, as you'd expect, and it comes paired on a beautiful brown IWC strap with its folding IWC 18 karat pink gold buckle. Is well clasped, very nicely done. Then a huge exhibition case back with a mighty rotor right there with the IWC medallion in 21 karat gold, very nicely done. And that inside is the IWC caliber 51614, and the watch is from August 2014 with its full box and paperwork. It also comes with an unused black IWC strap in the box. which is very nice to have, although I think the brown looks absolutely killer on it. And as I say, comes fresh from that service, so it comes under IWC's warranty, which is nice, and it has a little IWC travel case as well, so everything's there. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimension. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. So this is where this watch becomes quite surprising to me. It's obviously a big watch, there's no going around that, but it's surprisingly wearable and comfortable. Obviously it's quite top heavy, but it is counteracted by the gold on the buckle, which again is surprisingly heavy. So if you tighten it enough, it's a very, very comfortable watch. So you're looking at 44mm by 52.5mm lug to lug, 15mm on the thickness and 22mm on the lugs. So go check out this beautiful watch, which is priced insanely well considering everything it comes with and the fresh service on the website today. Now on to a 2023 Breitling Top Time Deus limited edition, a very, very cool watch, limited to 2,000 pieces with a very cool sort of graphic on the case back. You'll actually see with this drop, I forgot to add, I've tried out adding 3 more photos in the normal listing photos. I used to do a bunch of macro photos on every watch, and then what I decided to do was switch to 9 core photos, and then the additional photos, I'm still keeping that, but I've got 3 extra macro photos of each watch on the website, regardless of price. So hopefully you guys enjoy that, but let's take a closer look at this. Now for a beautiful Breitling Top Time, this is a limited edition of 2,000 pieces total with that gorgeous white dial, blue, orange and red highlights with an electric orange chronograph seconds. Is very, very nicely done. Almost a faux patina going on the loom, which is very attractive. A polished stainless steel case, crown and pushers at 3, 2 and 4 as you'd expect. Comes paired on this nice brown stitched strap by Breitling with a push button folding clasp, as again you'd expect. Looking at that closed case back, you can see the bike right there, really beautifully done and very, very attractive. You can see 1 of 2,000 written around the outside. It's always nice when, you know, exhibition case backs are nice, sure, but quite a few movements, let's say. You know, once you've seen a few movements, do you really need to see them all? You know, unless they're super highly finished or show something really nice. I'd much rather a cool case back like this personally. But that's just my personal opinion. So this is the reference A23311. Inside is the automatic Breitling caliber 23, and this watch is from June 2023 with its box and paperwork and is under its Breitling warranty, I think until 2027, but that can all be confirmed on request as well. But it does come with its manufacturer warranty, which is longer than our warranty that we provide on every watch of 12 months. So yeah, if you're after a cool Breitling Top Time chronograph, or just a Breitling chronograph in general, but one something a little different, which definitely pops, this is one to seriously consider. Sold out everywhere, and we're asking a really great price on this one. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist as that light adjusts because it's very bright today. This is 41mm by 51mm lug to lug, but it wears a lot smaller than that, I will say. It definitely doesn't impose on the wrist as you might think those dimensions would. 14mm on the thickness, and obviously a fair bit of that is in that domed sapphire crystal, to keep that in mind, and 20mm on the lugs, so really, really great proportions and much better on the wrist than you'd believe. So it's one to come and view if you can, so go check it out on the website today. From there over to an Omega you don't see often. This is actually a Railmaster Co-Axial 39mm from around 2005 and 6 on its original bracelet. Really, really cool design, and definitely one, as I say, you don't see often in 39mm. They also did a 45mm one of this reference, which is mental, but let's take a closer look at this. Now for an Omega you really don't see often, and this is the Omega Railmaster Co-Axial from around circa 2005-2006. So you're presented with this nice black dial with those bold indices with the 12369 and those iconic arrow hands that we see on some of the older Omega models and the heritage models of later dates as well. You've got those classic twisted lugs that we're all familiar with on Omega, sign screw down Omega crown at 3 o'clock, and then an oyster style bracelet with its push button clasp, and this comes with that older style Omega clasp where this slides to help fit over your hand, and then you slide it in on the wrist. Takes a little bit of getting used to, and then once you pop it in, nice and easy. As we flip this watch around, you're presented with an exhibition caseback showcasing that early Omega coaxial movement. For a lot of you, or most of you probably know, the coaxial escapement is in regards to the escapement itself. So as we have a look, it's that whole balance system and the way that transfers power is a very unique invention by George Daniels. So yes, definitely something to read up on if you are interested. It was turned down by Patek and many others. Anyway, so this is the reference 2503.52, and inside is the automatic Amiga coaxial caliber 2403, so one of the earlier coaxial escapements. And as I say, it's from circa 2005, 2006, and this is the 39mm reference. It doesn't come with any box or paperwork, but it does come with its original bracelet. And yeah, let's show it on wrist and talk dimension. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. You can see that fits the wrist nicely. It wears kind of like the 39mm Explorer, but a lot thinner and a lot flatter to the wrist, I would say. Which is very nice. So 39mm by 46.5mm lug to lug, only 11mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs, and this is definitely a strap monster, so don't be afraid to swap it out for a couple of leather straps and things like that. So go check it out on the website today. From there over to one of my favourite Schofields that he's released in a while. Obviously I own the light one, which I absolutely love. It's the smaller case, almost a different watch completely. I don't have the wrist size, in my opinion, to pull this off. It looks fine on my wrist, but I just wear smaller watches. Otherwise, I'd probably be keeping this one. But this is the Schofield B5 Japanese Sakura Automatic 44mm, a limited edition of 29 pieces total, I believe. Absolutely awesome. Let's take a closer look. To this awesome Schofield, if it will go in focus. There we go. Schofield B5 Japanese Sakura, an absolutely beautiful model that Giles over at Schofield has designed and put together. You've got your classic Schofield shape and design, but that beautiful tone of dial, almost like a cherry blossom, or a very faint cherry blossom, with those Schofield hands, which are loomed nicely, the sign of life indicator in the center, the indices around the outside, and you can see that ring around the outside, that is actually loomed. So this is just from natural light. I haven't charged this with a UV, and you can see around the outside it's glowing. So very, very nicely done. And the case is super awesome. It's got this really sort of raw finish on it, as you can see, which is very, very attractive. Sign crown at 3 o'clock as you'd expect. Big screws for the strap. And you can see a couple of bits of wear here and there, but nothing too major at the end of the day. These are quite big watches and they are going to get knocked. That's just how it goes. Inside, behind this beautiful closed case back, this is what I'm talking about when I was saying about it's nice to see movements. Yes, exhibition casebacks can be cool, but I would much rather a beautiful design like this personally. So behind there is an automatic STP1-11, and this watch is from circa late 2023 with its box, its instruction booklet, and its cleaning cloth, which is a very nice cleaning cloth. It doesn't come with its original paperwork, unfortunately. It is compared on its original strap, which is very nice, again with its matching buckle. All beautifully done and a very attractive package, especially for the price. Now, his retail price I think is just under 3.8. We are at a fraction of that for this watch, so it makes it a really great opportunity to pick this up if you've been after one. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Now, I could totally get away with this. I think it doesn't look outrageous on my wrist, but for personal preference, I do often wear smaller watches. But yes, you could totally get away with this on a 7-inch wrist. So this is 44mm by 52mm lug to lug, 14.5mm on the thickness, and 24mm on the lugs. And Giles has a load of great strap options as well. This is one to definitely come and try on if you're unsure. But yes, go check it out on the website today. Next up, we have a watch I sold a little while ago and I'm happy to have back. It's a really cool watch, and again, value for money I think are fantastic on these. This is a Norcane Wild One Hakuna Mipaka limited edition. I butcher it every time, I'm sorry guys. 42mm I believe it is. Yeah, 42mm and limited to 500 pieces with sort of like a titanium rubber sort of CAD system of the case. Very cool. Let's take a closer look. Now for the Norcane Wild One Hakuna Mupaka limited edition of 500 pieces with that absolutely amazing texture on the dial, which leads to the case and also the strap itself. Very nicely done and a really great release from Norcane. With the logo down there at 6 o'clock as well. Nice loom on the watch, and you've got this really interesting technology in the case itself. Signed screw down crown at 3 o'clock. On the side it says Norcane right there. And as we flip it over, presented with an exhibition case back which has the Hakuna Impaka writing there with the logo, and again 1 out of 50, and it's got a nice quote around the outside of the ring as well. You can see just here, all very nicely done. Comes paired on its fitted rubber strap which again follows that same texture leading to the side buckle. Very, very nicely done. I'm not going to bore you with the reference to this one because it's incredibly long. You can go read it on the website if you are interested. And inside that movement is a automatic Norcane NN20/1 by Kinesi, which I believe are the movement manufacturer that Tudor operate with as well, or have. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure it's on the website for the full details. As I've said many times, these are done off the cuff, so I apologise for any incorrect or not full details. This one's from February 2023 with its box and paperwork ready to be purchased and enjoyed, and is at a fantastic price compared to retail and for what it is as well. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. What a attractive watch this is. It looks great. So dimensions wise, what you're looking at is 42mm by 49mm lug to lug, 12.5mm on the thickness and 22mm on the lugs. And with this strap and case combination, it just hugs the wrist and you can barely feel it, to be honest. Super comfortable and a great all-round watch. So go check it out on the website today. From there over to an Omega Seamaster Bumper Automatic 2577-6. So this is a very early reference from 1956 and 34mm, and it's quite pricey. When you see the price, you're probably going to be taken aback because this reference is typically cheaper, but I can guarantee you this is the best one I have personally ever had and actually seen in terms of condition and example. It came from Shook the Oyster a few years ago. So yeah, really, really great watch. Let's take a closer look at this one. Now onto a watch I've been very excited to bring to the website. That's this gorgeous Omega Seamaster Automatic Central Seconds with those beautiful fat chamfered lugs, which you can see are unpolished and still have all of its beautiful lines, including that bezel, which has a slight chamfer as well. But back to the dial, you've got the 12369 sort of Explorer-esque dial with that gorgeous sort of pipe hand raised level to it, which creates this sort of two-tone effect. Absolutely gorgeous. Original hands, original dial, original loom, which is just aged beautifully. As I say, one of the best examples of this reference, or any vintage Seamaster I've had actually, I would say. You've got your iconic Omega crown right there, which is the correct one with all those beautiful angles. As we flip it around, you're presented with the screw-down case back with Seamaster, as clear as I've ever seen it on one of these. I mean, it's amazing, impeccable. So this is the reference 2577-6, and inside is a bumper automatic Omega caliber 354. So what that means is, inside here is a rotor that's attached to basically a bearing that swings around and hits a little post here with springs either side, so it bumps around. It does mean you feel it on your wrist, and if you sort of gently shake the watch, you can actually feel and hear that rotor bouncing around and hitting the spring. This sounds super healthy, and as I say, it was sold by Shook the Oyster a little while ago. I think it's still on his website under the sold section. So you can still see all of their photos and details. And as I say, he put in the title of this one, wow, with exclamation marks, so it must be good. As I say, circa 1956, and that's dated via the serial number. So let's show this beauty on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. This watch was made to go with my jacket, and the case size is just perfect. This is 34mm by 41.5mm lug to lug, 9.5mm on the thickness and 18mm on the lug, so endless options for this beauty. Go check it out on the website today. I don't think you're going to find a better one. From there over to something very, very nice and very affordable actually. This is a 1962 Tudor Royal 9-carat gold with a linen dial, and it's a very prominent linen dial as well, to the point where the text is printed over the linen, or the linen texture, and it's almost like faded. It's really, really cool. So let's take a closer look at this. Now, if you have been following this channel for any particular length of time, you will know I adore vintage Tudor, and this is a beautiful example and just goes to show how amazing the value for money on vintage Tudor still is today, even in this market of people appreciating smaller watches and vintage watches. So this is a Tudor Royal from circa 1950. Circa 1962, sorry, in 9-carat gold. So that's a solid 9-carat gold case, and you've got the beautiful linen dial, which is super heavily textured. Not something you see often. Usually they're very faint in their linen texture, but that is an aggressive linen texture with the Tudor Rose, Tudor Royal stated at 12, and shock resistant stated down at 6 o'clock. Beautiful indices, sword hands, yeah, just a very attractive example. Nice lugs as well, and as you flip it over, you're presented with a plain case back. This is a front loader, meaning it comes out the front, so you sort of take the bezel off and the movement comes out that way. There's no actual case back itself, it's one solid piece of gold, which is very nice. This is a reference 21980, and inside beating away is a manually wound Tudor 17 dual sign movement. And as I say, this is circa 1962, and that's dated via the case and the hallmarks, which are all photographed under the points of mention on the extra photos. Comes paired on a nice brown leather strap, and this is just a really wonderful example. If you are after a smaller gold watch, I would highly recommend considering this one because the value for money is insane. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. You can see that wears very, very well and is super comfortable. So you are looking at dimensions of 32mm on this one by 40mm lug to lug, 9mm on the thickness and 16mm on the lugs. So go check out this beautiful example on the website today. From a vintage 32mm Tudor to a modern 43mm Tudor bronze. This is the slate dial, which is actually gorgeous in person. And again, it's a big watch, you know you're wearing it, but it's actually surprisingly wearable. So let's take a closer look at this one. Here we go. So a Tudor Black Bay bronze. This is the 43mm reference, sorry, and this is the slate grey dial with that slate grey bezel. In certain lights, it almost gives like a dark green hue, and then other lights, it's this beautiful slate grey. I think it's a really dynamic dial, and if they made this in a smaller case, I would be all over it. It's beautiful. 43mm is definitely for a lot of people, especially with this bronze. It just makes it a big, heavy, masculine watch, but also perfect for anyone really. So this is the reference 79250BA. As we flip this watch around, you'll see the stickers still on the case back. Right there, and inside that case is the automatic Tudor caliber MT5601. This watch is from April 2021 with its box and paperwork. Comes paired on its original soft leather strap with its matching Tudor hardware, again in bronze, screw down crown at 3 o'clock. Just a really, really attractive watch. You got the sort of Explorer 369 dial right there with the snowflake hands. I think the color combination, as I keep saying, it's perfect. Just look at that. Beautiful. Not much more to say on this one. You know, if you're after a big bronze watch, I would highly recommend considering this one, and the price we've got this at is outrageously good. So I'd highly recommend it. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. It's a big watch. There's no way around that. But it actually does wear okay. I could totally get away with this. So 43mm by 52.5mm lug to lug, 14mm on the thickness and 23mm on the lug, so a little awkward. There are drilled lug holes to make strap changing a lot easier, but to be honest, this brown leather goes perfectly. So go check it out on the website today. From there over to an Abel 1911 automatic chronometer with the very awesome bracelet. And really lovely dial, and I suspect will be sold already by the time this goes out, to be honest. Circa 2010s with its box and papers, unsigned. But yeah, let's take a closer look at this one. Now on to Abel with this gorgeous Abel automatic chronometer from the circa 2010s, and this is the reference 9120L41. And what you're looking at is a classic 1911 Abel with that iconic case, iconic crown, and this really attractive bracelet as well, which just flows off the case and onto the wrist. As you flip it around, you'll see it's seamless over to the clasp, which is just tension fit, so you just pull it open like so. And then as you take a look at that solid screw down case back, you can see there's actually still a sticker on there. This has been very well preserved. So inside beating away is the automatic Abel caliber 120, which is essentially a ETA movement. As I say, this one's from the circa 2010s with its box and paperwork, which is unsigned, and it does come with all of its links. It's sort of just sat in a box and not really been used since it was purchased. Date over at 3 o'clock, and the most attractive dial on one of these I've seen, with a really, really nice set of indices, a classic Abel indice at 12 o'clock. And then you've got this pattern on the inside, which just works beautifully with the design and the screw polish bezel. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimension. And here we go, comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. It doesn't get much better than this. What a lovely, lovely watch. This is 39mm by 43.5mm lug to lug, only 9mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs. So go check out this beautiful watch on the website today. And from that Abel to a more affordable Abel, this time the Abel Classic Wave Quartz 37mm, so it's a nice large size with the steel and gold, with the iconic wave bracelet, a favourite of mine, and a gold bezel, gold crown. you name it, with a really nice white bezel. So let's dial, sorry. So let's take a closer look at this one. From an Abel 1911 to an Abel Classic Wave, this is a beautiful steel and gold reference, 1255F41.1. Thank you, Abel, for the very catchy references. You're looking at a really clean white dial, date over at 3 o'clock, exploding gold tone Roman numerals, and a subtle minute track around the outside. An 18 karat gold bezel with screws, a stainless steel case right there with a gold crown, as well as this wave bracelet, which is just beautiful. It's like scales with a gold slither through the center of the links, which again just catches the light beautifully. Quite hard to capture, but really nicely done. And as you flip it around, again, a seamless connection to the clasp, which is tension fit like so, and a solid case back right there. Now those screws are actually for the bracelet. They don't open the case because the case is one big piece of steel. It's a two-piece stem in the crown, which basically means that crown can be pulled out with force or with the tweezers to separate the male and female end. Then you unscrew the bezel and then you sort of drop it out the front. So that's how it works to change the battery. Not the easiest of things, but we've just had the battery changed, so you're ready to go. Inside is a quartz ETA movement. And this watch is from the circa late 2000s with its box and paperwork, again unsigned, but it does come with all of its links from factory, and again it's just been well looked after and lightly used over the years. So let's show this beauty on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. I think this looks really, really good. What a cool and classic looking watch, and with all the hype going on at the moment with Abel, I think these are still incredible value. So this is 37mm by 43mm lug to lug, only 7mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs. So go check out this beauty on the website today. And last but by no means least, a moon swatch, a mission to Earth, a bit of a stock filler to bump up the amount of watches in this week's drop. I'll be honest, typically I sell these straight on the broadcast list, but I'm going to see if this actually makes it to the website. Hopefully it does. It's on a Wrist Buddies rubber strap, which I think looks awesome. And yeah, let's take a closer look at this. Now it's time for a moon swatch, an Omega and Swatch collaboration moon swatch. This is the Mission to Earth with that green case and the blue dial and bezel. I've got it paired on this Wrist Buddies rubber strap, which are these fitted straps that color match. They look very, very good. It does have its original strap in the box as well. And you can see on the case back, Mission to Earth with the Earth over the battery. That's the battery cover. So very, very nicely done. Very good fitting on these straps as well. They will fit your standard Speedmasters as well. That sort of goes without saying. And it's funny, when this one, when they were, can't get my words out, when they were all released, this one had to be my least favorite, but actually in person it's very, very nice. And especially on this fitted rubber, I think it looks great. Obviously goes without saying, these are quartz. This is circa 2023 with its box and paperwork, always unsigned on these. I think I've only ever had one that was signed, and that was because the customer actually asked them at the Swatch store to do it. But yeah, let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. So what you're looking at right there is 42mm by 47mm lug to lug, 13mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs. And these are standard spring bars, so you can swap out the strap for anything. So have a little play around. And obviously you've got the Velcro as well. So go check it out on the website. So there you have it, guys and girls. This week's drop, 11 watches. I look forward to hearing what's your favorite down in the description. So do let me know. I mean, the most impressive, I think, has to be this IWC Perpetual calendar with all of its complication, its heft, its weight. It's super impressive. I love the Schofield as well, but I think my favorite has to be this Omega from 1956. It is just a superb example. And if money was no object, this is the kind of thing a collector would keep forever, really, because it's almost museum level quality. So yeah, let me know down in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. I'm already building next week's drop as we speak, even though I'm 2 weeks ahead of that one, if that makes sense. So yeah, we'll see you all again next week. Take care.